In a world chasing noise and chaos, Toan and Diem's love story reminds us that true happiness lives in the simplest moments, in hard work, shared meals, and dreams whispered under the stars. From their golden afternoons on the farm to the warmth of their small kitchen and the peaceful nights filled with love and hope, their story celebrates devotion, partnership, and the beauty of ordinary life. If you believe in love that grows from kindness and everyday care, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more heartwarming stories like this one. The sun was sinking low over the wide fields, spilling its golden warmth across the rows of green vegetables that swayed gently in the breeze. The afternoon light painted everything in a tender hue, the soil, the leaves, and even the sweat glistening on Toan's forehead. He stood there, sleeves rolled up, muscles taut from hours of work, his hands steady as he tied bundles of freshly picked greens. Beside him, Diem moved gracefully, her hair tied in a loose braid, a few strands escaping to dance with the wind. Her laughter echoed softly through the stillness, like the melody of something pure and familiar. They had been working since morning, feeding the chickens, watering the plants, harvesting vegetables for dinner. The work was hard, but neither of them complained. For Toan and Diem, the farm wasn't just a livelihood. It was their shared dream, a quiet world they had built together away from the noise of the city. Every leaf they tended, every fence they mended, carried the warmth of their love. "Here," Diem said softly, stepping closer to wipe the sweat from Toan's brow with the corner of her sleeve. "You're working too hard again." Her touch was gentle, and for a brief moment Toan paused, gazing at her with the kind of affection that needed no words. "How could I not? I'm building a life for us, one harvest at a time." Diem's heart fluttered at his words. She knelt beside him to help, her hands brushing against his as they gathered the vegetables into baskets. The faint scent of soil and fresh greens mixed with her perfume, earthy and sweet. Every gesture between them, a shared glance, a quiet smile, carried an intimacy that no grand gesture could ever replace. Above them, the sky turned a deeper shade of amber. A flock of birds cut across the horizon, returning to their nests. Toan stood up, stretching his arms with a satisfied sigh, while Diem leaned against the fence, looking at him with quiet admiration. "You know," she said softly, "sometimes I think happiness is exactly this, just us, the farm, the wind, nothing more." He turned to her, his expression tender. "And your smile," he added teasingly, "that's the part I could never do without." She laughed, tossing a handful of grass toward him, and he caught her hand before she could pull away. They stood there for a long moment, fingers intertwined, surrounded by the scent of fresh earth and the whisper of evening. The day was ending, but their hearts were full. The farm, once silent and ordinary, now pulsed with life, with their shared laughter, their quiet dreams, and the unspoken promise that whatever the future brought, they would always have this, a golden afternoon, a simple love, and the peace that only comes from working side by side towards something that truly matters. As twilight crept over the farm, Toan and Diem carried the baskets of fresh vegetables back to their cozy farmhouse. The air was filled with the soft hum of crickets and the faint scent of damp earth after a long day's labor. Inside, the kitchen glowed with a warm amber light. The wooden table bore the marks of time, scratches from years of use, memories carved into every corner. Yet it felt alive, ready to cradle another evening of laughter and love. Diem untied her apron, washing the dirt from her hands before slicing the vegetables. The rhythmic sound of her knife against the cutting board mingled with the crackling fire from the old stove. Toan busied himself beside her, rinsing the greens and lighting the small oil lamp near the window. Every movement between them was natural, as if the rhythm of their hearts had long been synchronized through countless shared evenings like this. The aroma of sautéed garlic and simmering broth soon filled the air. Diem glanced at Toan as he leaned over the pot, tasting the soup with a wooden spoon. "Careful," she said, smiling. "You'll burn your tongue again." He laughed, shaking his head. "Worth it," he replied, savoring the warmth. "If we ever have 2 little girls, I'll have to learn to cook properly, won't I? Otherwise, how could I take care of my 3 favorite ladies?" Diem turned to him, pretending to frown, though her cheeks were already pink. 3? So you're including me as one of your daughters now?" she teased. "No," he said softly, stepping closer. "You'll always be the heart of our home, the one who holds us all together." The words hung between them, tender and unguarded. For a moment, Diem forgot the simmering soup, the flickering light, the long hours of work. She saw instead a glimpse of the future. 2 little girls with their father's grin and her laughter, running barefoot across the kitchen floor, stealing pieces of fruit from the counter, giggling as Toan chased after them with mock frustration. The image made her chest ache with quiet joy. "Then you better start practicing, Mr. Chef," she said playfully, handing him the ladle. "Our future daughters might be picky eaters." He took it, pretending to be serious, stirring the soup with exaggerated care. "Don't worry," he replied, tasting it again. "They'll love it, just like their mother does." She rolled her eyes, but her smile betrayed her. They ate together in the soft glow of the lamp, the soup warm and comforting, the silence between them filled with the sound of dreams quietly taking shape. Outside, the night deepened, wrapping their little home in peace. There was no music, no luxury, no grand feast. Only 2 people, their shared laughter, and the aroma of simple food cooked with love. And somehow, that was enough. In that small kitchen, surrounded by warmth and the echoes of what could be, Toan and Diem were already living the life they had always dreamed of. After dinner, the house fell into a serene stillness. The dishes were washed, the lamps dimmed, and the air outside turned cool beneath the soft breath of the night. Toan stepped out to the porch, carrying 2 steaming cups of tea, and found Diem sitting on the old wooden bench. The faint glow from the lantern cast a gentle shimmer across her face. She looked peaceful, her eyes following the fireflies that drifted lazily over the garden like wandering stars. He handed her a cup and sat beside her. For a moment, neither spoke. The night was too calm, too sacred to break with unnecessary words. The sound of crickets filled the distance, blending with the low rustle of trees swaying in the evening wind. It was the kind of silence that spoke volumes, the language of 2 souls who no longer needed to fill every pause. Toan took a slow sip of tea and leaned back, his gaze fixed on the horizon where the last traces of dusk lingered. "You know," he began softly, "sometimes I imagine what this place will look like in a few years. 2 little girls running around the garden, chasing butterflies, laughing so loud the whole valley could hear them." Diem smiled, resting her head gently against his shoulder. "And you'll be the one running after them, pretending to be mad when they get mud all over their shoes," she teased. He chuckled. "I wouldn't even be able to pretend. I'd probably end up laughing first." He paused, his voice softening. "Can you see it, Diem? Them calling out, 'Bawoy!' from the yard, and you standing right here, watching them grow, teaching them how to plant seeds, how to love this land the way we do?" She closed her eyes, letting his words sink in. The image came to life so vividly that her heart ached. The echo of children's laughter, the sunlight spilling across the fields, the feeling of home wrapped in the sound of family. "I can see it," she whispered, "and I can feel it. Two little girls with your kindness and your smile, that would be my greatest blessing." Toan turned toward her, his hand finding hers beneath the soft folds of her dress. "No," he said gently, "they'll have your heart. That's what will make them truly special." A comfortable silence followed. The stars began to shimmer brighter, scattered like dust over the velvet sky. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked once, and then all was still again. The night embraced them, two souls sitting side by side, bound not by grand promises, but by quiet devotion and shared dreams. Diem squeezed his hand, her voice barely above a whisper. "Whatever happens, Toan, as long as we're together, this dream will always be enough." He smiled, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Always," he murmured. And beneath that vast, starlit sky, they stayed. Two hearts beating in rhythm with the night, dreaming not of riches or glory, but of a simple, enduring love that would one day fill their home with the laughter of two beautiful daughters.
Hello, xin chào tất cả các khán giả của kênh Ly Tu Diem Review. Rất vui vì ngày hôm nay đã được gặp lại các bạn trong câu chuyện ngày hôm nay. Trong câu chuyện được kể trong video hôm nay thì Toàn và Diệm đã có những giây phút lao động và nấu ăn tại trang trại. Sau đó cả hai mơ mộng về một tương lai với viễn cảnh đó là Diệm sẽ hạ sinh hai cô con gái song sinh tên là Rosie và Nini sẽ đáng yêu tuyệt đẹp như những thiên thần. Liệu rằng những ước nguyện này của Toàn và Diễm có trở thành hiện thực hay không, và bao lâu nữa sẽ có thể trở thành hiện thực? Tất cả những tình tiết hấp dẫn sẽ còn được kể ở các video tiếp theo. Các bạn nếu thấy video hôm nay hay, hấp dẫn, mới lạ, hãy cho mình xin một nút like, một nút chia sẻ và để lại bình luận ở dưới video nhé. Và xin chào và hẹn gặp lại các bạn vào ngày mai trên kênh Ly Tu Diem Review. Bye bye!